Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the second portion of our Tuesday nights where we get to go deep into a certain topic. And tonight I'm going to start this topic with a success story. We're talking about neuropathy and neuropathy simply just means something is wrong with your nerves. And there's lots of different reasons. We'll dive into a few of them this evening, and we're going to dive into a little bit about how and why it happens and how we could possibly eliminate it. Jay
All right.
has a pretty cool success story. So, I'm going to add you as a spotlight here. So, tell us your story.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jay Doyle. I originally came to the patches. I have issues with high blood pressure and then water retention. My mom has always had issues with water retention in her feet. And then on my dad's side, high blood pressure, and also irregular heartbeat. So those have been the two main issues. So I started met Cami at a networking event. She introduced me to the patches. I started with the X39 and Eon, and I'm in sales. I do sales for a living, and I'm like, hey, I was using it for a period of time. I didn't get instant results, so I stopped using it. In sales, you need results, and I wasn't getting results, so I stopped using it. Went to my doctor for my annual physical. The doctor did his workup on me. He goes, "What are you doing different than the last time you came in?" I said, "Nothing." Well, wait a minute. Um, I've been using these patches for a period of time and stopped using them. He says, "Well, if I were you, I would get back on it." So my results showed that my A1C had been down, and then far as the water pill that I was taking, in both those medications that I was taking, he went ahead and cut my dosage in half because I didn't need it as much. So went back to using the X39 and Eon. And I have not gone back for a checkup, but I did notice, and this is something that um, um, I saw my father slowly deteriorate. Diabetes runs in my family, and diabetes, high blood sugar levels that over time, damage the nerves. So in my family, there's a specific thing called diabetic neuropathy. So I saw my dad over a period of time where you could put a knife in his foot, and he would not be able to feel it because all of his nerves um, had been damaged. So I had noticed during this time, although I had improvement with my high blood pressure and then also the water retention, I also had numbness in both my feet, also up my calves where I could not feel. So I started to have early signs of um, neuropathy, diabetic specifically neuropathy. Um, so I'm like, okay, what do I do? You know what? I didn't do anything really. I just continued taking the patches, and then over time, I'm like, wow, I can feel my feet when I run my finger over the top a little bit more than on the side of my calf, which I wasn't able to. And I'm like, hmm. So I called Cami, and I'm like, wow, I'm not having as much tingling in my feet as I have. The color of my skin on the side of my calves. I could scratch myself and I can feel it. And so she said, as we sat down and talked about it, that it's um, because of the patches and that my nerves are. It takes time for the damage over a period of time, and it's going to take time for those nerves to repair. So I currently now, I still have some numbness, but it's half of what, my left foot was worse than the right foot. And my left foot now, probably maybe three-fourths of my foot now I have feeling back in it. And my right foot probably about half. So I'm going to continue using them, and we'll see where we go from there. But considerable improvement in being able to feel. And it's my nerves are regenerating, and I'm starting to see results. So it doesn't happen overnight for me. It took some time, but now I'm continuing to roll with it, and very blessed. So
How long have you been using the patches?
I'm going on probably a year and a half.
Mhm. And you use more patches than just X39 and Eon. What are the other patches you
Yeah,
use?
I started off with X39 and Eon. I also I typically would get at least one sinus cold a year, and I haven't. So I'm using the glutathione, and then also carnosine, and then the Alvita I use at night.
Mhm.
That's the only patch I have on at night. Um, and I'm seeing results with those as well. I kind of mix it up a little bit so that my someone asked about 12 on, 12 off, making sure that my body doesn't get too used to it to where it's not effective anymore. So but yeah,
Awesome.
I do off and on use a glutathione, carnosine, and then also the Alvita is the only one that I use at night. The other two, four, I wear during the day.
That's awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. That's huge. And as you see my slide presentation, neuropathy is one of those things that a lot of doctors will say that there is no cure, or we're not sure about this. And so that's it's pretty awesome to have a success story, even of any improvement of neuropathy. But I just think it's just going to get better and better. So thanks for sharing your story.
Yes, of course.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started on. I'm managing on my daughter's computer, and it's a little bit more finicky than mine. Oops. Okay. Okay. Gotta share my screen. Okay. Again, real quickly, I want to go through what neuropathy is. Um, and basically, neuropathy just says it is something wrong with your neurons. It's generally thought to be of your extremities or something wrong in your nerve pathways. But here's an image here of our nervous system. And of course, the biggest conglomeration of neurons, is the brain, but then our spinal cord and all the nerves going to and from every organ of the body and all of our skin, everything. It's going to and from our whole body. So again, I'm going to look at, I'm showing you pictures of the nervous system and then nerves. So a nerve, so a neuron has this cell body here, you can see, and you can see the nucleus. And these little things, hairy things, are called dendrites. And dendrites receive the chemical message from the other neuron that's on the other side of this neuron, which would be the end of this, and the axon terminals. So a message gets received into the dendrites, gets processed in the nucleus, and that tells the nucleus to do something. And typically it's to send a message down the axon to the axon terminals, and they make a chemical that jumps across the synapse, which is in between the nerves, in between the neurons, and that's how it sends the message. So it's electric and it's chemical. The axon has what's called a myelin sheath, and the myelin sheath protects this fragile part of the neuron, and this long, skinny part. So the myelin sheath is mostly fat, and it can get, and we'll see how the fat gets damaged, but often that's what happens here with neuropathy. So the myelin sheath gets compromised somehow, and then this poor cell has trouble, because the axon is in more danger of getting damaged or broken, because the myelin sheath isn't there in its full capacity to protect the nerve. So that's neuropathy. That's what happens. There are also some autoimmune disorders that ruin the myelin sheath on the neuron. That would be like multiple sclerosis, things like that. So, oh, by the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing a knowledge that I've learned here, but I'm not here to treat, diagnose, or cure a medical condition. I do have to send you back to your medical provider. So let's insert that disclaimer right here, before we get into this fascinating information. So I went to the World Wide Web. I have a hunch. I know, uh, by observation, by learning from different um, um, studies, neuropathy is caused by several different reasons. It is a numbness or a tingling or a weakening. Sometimes it feels like pinpricks. Sometimes it feels like fire. Sometimes it feels like shocks. And it is a a neuropathy, or a damage of some sort to the nerves. So there's many different reasons how that happens. Diabetes, as Jay said, is that insulin resistance tends to run in his family. Well, it definitely does affect the nerves, and here's how. Um, when your blood vessels have a lot of sugar, when your blood vessels have a lot of blood sugar, it's hard on the blood vessels. It weakens them. And when the blood vessels actually feed the nerves, and when the blood vessels are weakened, then they cannot feed the nerves and cause the nerves to do what they are supposed to do. By the way, this happens all over the body. So neuropathy tends to be thought of in the hands and feet and other things, eyes, different things like that. But you see these diabetes and diabetic, uh, this problem of the high blood sugar in the blood vessels causes problems all over the body. Injuries. Oh my goodness. Another source of neuropathy is injuries. I have a friend, a young man in Tacoma area, about 30 minutes away from my house, who had a very tragic accident on an off-road motorcycle. And it crushed one of his vertebrae and severed his spinal cord. And he was told he would never walk again. He does walk again. But it took a lot of dedication, hard work, therapies, and all the things and people willing to work with him to get his body to work again. And he does walk. But what he does have is a feeling of fire in his feet and ankles because his nerves are slowly regenerating, but until they're completely healed, it's painful. And so he had that sensation of fire on his feet because of neuropathy. Um, Thankfully, I was able to help him with some patches. Vitamin B12 deficiency can also cause a general weakness, lightheadedness, muscle aches, heart palpitations, but also um, it it lack of vitamin B12 um, destroys that myelin sheath in your body or around those neurons. Oh, goodness. Remember, I said that the myelin sheath on the neuron is mostly fat. Do you guys know where toxins go in your body? They get tucked away. Your body tries to protect yourself from toxins, and they get tucked away in our fat reserves. Our our visceral fat, I call it the protective layer. But it also goes to our brain. Our brain is mostly fat and that myelin sheath. So chemicals get tucked away, and those chemicals cause problems with the myelin sheath on the nerves. There's all kinds of chemicals like that break the blood-brain barrier and also um, go adversely affect the body in different immunizations. They're the adjuvants and preservatives. So our body's toxic load is something to think about. The things that you can eliminate as you learn about them, when you know better, you do better, right? So these are things that you can think about. And as we learn about how to reduce the toxic load on your body, your joints will help you, will thank you, but so will your brain and your myelin sheaths on your nerves. So this is just a picture on the left of a healthy neuron, but then an unhealthy neuron, and it's really the myelin sheath damage that we're talking about. Um, and it's pretty terrible. So chemotherapy does cause neuropathy. And I was looking up a study here, and this study says currently there are no effective treatments to prevent or control chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy. And there's limited evidence of effective treatment. Goodness. If infection, I also have a friend who she had shingles, and the nerves the end, she's done with the shingles, but her nerves are tingly and painful in her back because that's a form of neuropathy, where your nerves are trying to figure out what to do, and that is from an infection. Kidney disease, again, causing an imbalance in your body. Now, insulin resistance and having a high blood sugar can cause problems in your kidneys as well. And then this is saying that certain forms of cancer, like tumors, can be pressing on the nerves or, of course, in your brain, causing trouble. And this fan favorite, you gotta love we don't know what it is. but it's here. Idiopathic means we don't know what the heck it is, but here are the symptoms you have. Neuropathy. So many reasons for causes of chronic polyneuropathy. You've got diabetes, high volumes of alcohol, deficiency of B12. You've got different things going on here, toxicity. There's one hereditary thing, and Charcot-Marie um, is a disease that tends to attack the myelin sheath on the nerves. Endocrine, oh my goodness, hypothyroidism. That also, high blood sugar can shift that, or trouble with your kidneys, thyroid. That's all part of your endocrine system. So we've got all kinds of reasons for people to have neuropathy. And again, here's just an up close and personal look at what happens to the myelin sheath. And you see different parts of that little, very tender, um, very fragile axon. And when it gets broken, then that axon, it cannot send the message to the next nerve. So here's just a breakdown of the different types of neuropathy and what they think. I love it. So diabetes is the biggest chunk, or high insulin resistance, and idiopathic. So that means we don't know what it is, but here you go. And inflammatory, okay, that is idiopathic in my mind. Toxic, okay, only 6% is hereditary. So I'm, and only 2%, 3% is nutritional deficiency. So that to me says that we can do things. So I explained about the myelin sheath. It is that fatty protein coating that protects your nerve cell. It's like insulation on that axon. Foods that support the myelin sheath are things that are rich in those omega-3 fatty acids. By the way, that's good for our bodies anyway. Salmon, flax seeds, walnuts, cholesterol. Guess what? Cholesterol that is the fat that is protecting your neurons. If you go cholesterol free in your diet, your neurons will not be so happy. So here you go. Um, B vitamins, of course, if you can find them in a natural source of food, good quality, rich, organic food, that's the best way to do it. And guess what? What protects the myelin sheath? Copper. Hmm. So if you don't have copper in your diet, I that's also could be a problem. So just I'm talking about fat soluble toxins. They go into your liver, they go into your body, and you need these nutrients to process them, right? Glutathione being huge of part of that. Bioflavonoids, those are the things that help your body process vitamin C. That's like the rind, not the rind, but the white part on the orange. If you only eat orange juice or the insides of the orange and not the encasement that the orange comes in, you're not getting the bioflavonoids that allow your body to process the vitamin C that tells your liver to make glutathione. And then again, to get rid of waste products, we need these nutrients, and some of these are amino acids, some of them are minerals, and some of them are antioxidants like glutathione. We need these things to help our body get rid of toxins. So, how do we reduce or eliminate neuropathy? Exercise is huge. I cannot, like, if you don't use them, you lose them. Muscles, neurons, they need that traffic to work properly. And anti-inflammatory diet with healthy fats in it. Again, we need those omegas to help build up that myelin sheath. We need cholesterol to build up that myelin sheath. Remember, quality sources of food. We need to reduce the toxic load on the body with antioxidants so you can eliminate, eat as healthy as you can. That's why, I recommend organic foods. Reduce the toxic load on the body by eliminating preservatives, as many preservatives as you can, seed oils, different things like that, and then bump up your antioxidants. Glutathione and carnosine are things that we can do with the patches, telling your body to create those things. You put the building blocks in your body with good quality food, and then you tell your body to make healthy cells with the patches. So we also get to regenerate the body with new healthy cells with that copper peptide in the body that our X39 tells our body to make. Now, you can see this. This is a treatment where most of the things that will say, we don't know how to treat neuropathy. It just is what it is, and it keeps getting worse. So that is what we do. So glutathione injections is being treated or considered for neuropathy. So Cellergize is a new product that we just came out um, with, and um, and so this has a bunch of our amino acids. It has that tiny little bit of copper. It has amino acids in it, and it has sea buckthorn fruit extract that allows our body to make stem cells. It is a proven superfood that gives our body what it needs, including omega-3, 6, 7, and 9 in sea buckthorn fruit extract. So, good stuff. Then, of course, we have the water. I didn't get the list put on here, but the light infused water sets off a chain reaction of telling our body to make a bunch of different amino acids, which are the building blocks of healthy cells. And then let me tell you the patches that help with this, and what they do. So X39 tells your body to make that GHK copper peptide. GHK copper peptide is incredibly helpful for helping your body regenerate whatever type of cells you need to help different problems. X49 tells your body to make AHK copper peptide. A stands for a different amino acid called alanine, and that tells your body to make more specialized cells. Guess what? To your brain and nervous system, heart, cardiovascular system, your muscles, and your bones. And then Eon tells your body to reduce inflammation. Pretty amazing. It tells your body to create its own anti-inflammatory. Carnosine is incredibly helpful for helping your body process blood sugar. It's called glycation, and carnosine is incredibly helpful for that. And oh, by the way, it is very helpful in helping detox aluminum out of your brain. And it's just very, very helpful for your nervous system. Glutathione, the body's major antioxidant, it's made in the liver, and it is incredibly helpful for your immune system. And most of us, if we have been around for any amount of time, have any sort of toxic load in our body, we are lacking in glutathione. And so glutathione, this is an incredible way to tell your body to make it. If you purchase an over-the-counter supplement, it has a half-life of 7 minutes. And taking a supplement every day for a month will bump up your glutathione levels by about 10%. If you use the X39 patch, it will bump up your glutathione levels by 30%. The glutathione patch itself bumps up your glutathione levels by 300%. So it's pretty amazing. Aloe Vera is helpful for the skin collagen cartilage production. It also helps the telomeres on your cells to be, on your DNA to be the right length. But it also helps your blood vessels. So that is why I put aloe vera on here. And SP6, it has everything to do with your endocrine system. So from your thyroid to your pancreas, blood sugar, to your intestines, your gallbladder, your kidneys, everything to do with your endocrine system. SP6 is incredible. So those are some things that we can do to help our bodies with ways that we can help our bodies with blood sugar and detoxing and doing the things that we know to be problems with neuropathy. So that's what I have for you today. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, if you have any questions about what these patches do or how to get them, somebody shared this video with you and we want you to get back to the person who invited you. Or if you just happen to find the video, go to harmonypatching.com and get in touch with one of us. Thank you.